look, immigration is supposed to be a federal, it's a federal statute, it's supposed to preempt state law. It doesn't always, there are ways that it doesn't. But I can tell you that I do not want to see state law enforcement officials being federalized, right? I don't want to see the police or the state troopers asking people for their papers. That's not their job. That's not what they're supposed to do. You asked about the placards. I haven't really thought through all the legal implications of the placards. So I'm not really in a position to offer whether that exposes the state to liability or not. I haven't thought it through that far. So I will now that you brought it up. But immigration is a huge issue for me, and I can tell you that it impacts. It will impact us. There was a case one time where there was a guy who had leukemia, and he was a constituent. He contacted our office. His sister had a bone marrow match. She lived in Iran, and they had passed the Muslim ban or the travel ban, whatever they're calling it nowadays. And it was somewhere between the first and second iteration. And usually my staff stays on the phone with that, and they just keep me informed, and I work with them on what we're gonna do. This time I had to get on the phone myself, and I was on the phone for about 4 hours arguing that this young woman ought to be able to come here to do that bone marrow transplant. And we got her through. And this was, I don't know if we can get her through now. Now that the Supreme Court has passed on it, maybe we couldn't. But that certainly is an immigration matter and something that we would fight for people on. The other thing is, just visiting. I have a staffer who was born in Iran, naturalized as a U.S. citizen as a kid. I mean, you know, Keon. And he's like, totally all-American kid, but he was born in Iran. His cousin can't come here. And why not? No good reason at all. Iranians come back and forth to the United States all the time. They used to. Now they cannot because of this travel ban. So if we find, but now under even the Trump travel ban, as the Supreme Court upheld it, it's supposed to have hardship exceptions, and if you can show that the vetting system in the host country is adequate, they ought to be able to get through. And yet we have not tested legally whether or not that travel ban is discriminatory as applied. So that's something that has been rolling around in my brain.
Sure.
Yeah.